the Supreme Court recently gave a verdict of waiver of compound interest in terms of the loans during the moratorium period, and the Supreme Court also stated that the government as well as the central bank would decide in terms of economy policy based on expert opinion. In fact, the Supreme Court's directive of no compound interest or no penal interest or no interest on interest will be charged to the borrowers for the moratorium period was widely anticipated. The Supreme Court also stated that a waiver of complete interest is not possible, as it will definitely impact the depositors, and also calling whether to extend the moratorium period beyond 31st of August 2020 a policy decision. The top court stated the government as well as the central bank would decide on economic policy based on expert opinion. The court said it cannot interfere with the government decision to fix priorities for relief during the pandemic, which has impacted one and all. In fact, Edelweiss, in a very recent research report, stated the Supreme Court's directive to waive the compound interest for the moratorium period was anticipated, and the government had already committed earlier to bear the cost of this exemption for loans less than rupees 2 crore in select categories. Shareholders' exposure is limited to the balance, of course. Edelweiss does mention that their analysis based on the scenario analysis that they have conducted does indicate a very minuscule impact in terms of the earnings for the banks, a very minuscule impact in terms of the net interest margin. Edelweiss states that the analysis indicates the earnings impact of the residual exposure is not very material. However, this ruling potentially raises questions about the judicial reach into the realm of the private bank customer contracts, and this is something that a lot of industry participants would be, of course, watching out for in future. The fact that the government has however preempted and absorbed the brunt of this impact should definitely soothe some of the ruffled nerves there. Having said that, the development does not alter Edelweiss' view in terms of the entire BFSI space, and the top picks remain ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, Axis Bank as well as State Bank of India, and their only preferred pick within the entire mid-cap space is AU Small Finance Bank. In fact, in a recent research report, MK also mentions that we believe the vacating the stay on NPA recognition is positive for retail SME heavy banks, as it will open up the legal recourse and improve collection efficiency in the last overdue buckets. The MK also believes that more so with renewed risk of the second COVID-19 wave, this decision is certainly a welcome move. However, MK states that the Supreme Court directive to provide relief in terms of the compound interest for loans about rupees 2 crore could increase the financial burden on the government, which is already running into deficit. MK also mentions that the regular unwarranted judicial intervention in commercial decisions and waivers announced by the political parties in the run-up to the elections definitely disrupt the overall credit culture of the lenders, and this needs to be contained with effective policy framework by the central government. That said, MK also is fairly bullish in terms of the overall financial space.